Seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton finished second at Spa, but the result left him visibly upset despite a stellar performance throughout the 44-lap race. Hamilton expressed frustration, saying it had been years since he felt this close to controlling a race victory. At last weekend's Belgian Grand Prix, Hamilton made an excellent start from the second row, overtaking Red Bull's Sergio Perez to quickly move into second place. By lap 3, he took the lead, passing Charles Leclerc's Ferrari on the Kemmel straight. However, despite his strong drive, he found himself unable to overtake his teammate George Russell, who was on a daring one-stop strategy. The disappointment was clear as Hamilton realized his chance at victory had slipped away, not through lack of speed, but due to strategic decisions. Hamilton revealed that Mercedes failed to inform him that he was at risk of being beaten by George Russell's one-stop strategy. He was on the conventional two-stop strategy and led the race early on, while Russell, originally set to finish fifth, gambled on a one-stop. Russell told his team, "Think about the one-stop," and it paid off, allowing him to gain track position and hold off Hamilton by less than 0.6 of a second. Hamilton wasn't impressed and voiced his frustration in the cool-down room, telling Oscar Piastri that he still had tire life when he was told to pit. Speaking after the race, he was clearly annoyed by the poor communication on the Mercedes pit wall. He told Viaplay, "You have to put your faith in the people that you work with, so I put my faith in my strategist. I should be able to lean on him fully. I told him that the tires were fine and they called me in. Did I know that I was at risk of getting one stopped by my teammate? They didn't tell me that. But congrats to George, it's great to go into the break with such performance. We all feel a bit lighter going in and hopefully come back stronger in the second half." Reflecting on his race, the seven-time world champion said that the feeling on the wheel was completely different on Sunday. "It was literally night and day different today. On Friday, it was pretty disastrous for both of us and really struggling with balance. And then, on Sunday, the car came alive, and I was really surprised to firstly get into the lead and then be pulling away from everyone and not. Yeah, as I said, it felt fully under control, and I've not had that for years, and so that's why it was also a bit of a strange way to finish it." Hamilton said that he was slightly surprised by Mercedes' decision to call him in early for his second stop, as he constantly gave feedback about the state of his tires. "I mean, if you listen, you could have heard what I said to the team most of the time. But yeah, I think the tires were pretty good. I still had plenty of tires and I was going quicker. I didn't want to stop." Russell initially celebrated what would and probably should have been the most significant win of his Formula One career at Spa. However, his celebrations were short-lived when his car was found to be 1.5 kilos underweight, leading to his disqualification and handing the win to Hamilton, marking his 105th career victory. The post-race investigation revealed that Russell's car failed to meet the minimum weight requirement. This was a particularly hard blow for the 26-year-old, who had driven an outstanding race with only one pit stop. Despite this, he managed to fend off his teammate Hamilton in the final laps, making the disqualification even more disappointing. "I feel for George, and you don't want to win a race through a disqualification," said the seven-time world champion, "but we have been back in the fight for victories in the past few races. It is incredibly competitive now, so we will need to work hard to battle for wins more consistently. Nevertheless, we can go into the summer break with momentum and positivity. It is of course disappointing for the team to lose the 1-2, but there are lots of positives to take away," Hamilton added. "The car was feeling good, and we had much better pace than we expected. There were several cars that seemed similar in terms of performance, but once we had got ahead, we were able to maintain that position. We committed to the two-stop strategy and covered those directly behind us. George was able to make the one-stop work, and although I got close to him in the final few laps, I was unable to get past in the dirty air." Hamilton later took to Instagram to reiterate his feelings on his 105th GP win. "Mixed feelings for today's result," he wrote. "Obviously happy to get the win, but I feel for George, and it's disappointing for the team not to get the 1-2. A lot of positives to take from today though. At the start of the weekend, we didn't expect to be at the front or the pace we had, so it's great to see just how much progress has been made and that we are in the fight. We take all these positives with us into the break and will come back a stronger team, ready to keep the momentum going." The disqualification erased what would have been Mercedes' first 1-2 since Brazil in 2022, as Chief Toto Wolff apologized to Russell for the team's error. which saw the Brit miss out on the third race win of his Formula One career. "We have to take our disqualification on the chin," the Austrian stated. "We have clearly made a mistake and need to ensure we learn from it. We will go away, evaluate what happened, and understand what went wrong. To lose a 1-2 is frustrating, and we can only apologize to George, who drove such a strong race. Lewis was the fastest guy on the two-stop and is a deserving winner. There are many positives we can take from this weekend. We had a car that was the benchmark in today's race across two different strategies. Only a few months ago, that would have been inconceivable." Later on, Toto Wolff also admitted that Mercedes would have actually considered giving out team orders had the race gone on for just one more lap. Speaking to reporters including Mirror Sport after the race, he said, "Probably if we had one more lap, team orders could have been a consideration because it would have protected P1 and George would have finished P3. But I'm happy that we didn't have to make this call." But Wolff explained that it was more than just about covering Leclerc. Track position was vital as far as the silver arrows were concerned, and the Austrian explained why the team never considered a one-stop for Hamilton. He said, "As a driver, you don't have the full picture because he said his tires are good. But at that stage, nobody had a one-stop on the radar. We had to cover the cars behind, I think it was Piastri and Leclerc. And you can see that everybody else went on the two-stop, logically. It just wasn't on the radar. So what we did with Lewis was absolutely the right thing to do. But in the end, George made them survive. It couldn't have been anticipated because if it would have been, any of the other top teams would have done it." Talking about Russell's gamble with his one-stop strategy, Wolff was quick to stress that while a driver's input is key, so too are the men and women running the numbers in the background. "I think we can pick out singular events where the driver had the right idea in the race," he said. "But there's so many machines running in the background, calculating tire degradations and pace of the others, plus a bunch of really clever mathematicians and strategies that look at that. So in my opinion, 9 out of 10 times it's the data that gives you the direction, and we are a sport needs to rely on the data. But driver input is always important, and what we encourage is great communication between the driver and the engineers that's going to give better data to the strategists. And today it correlated because at a certain stage we said here's nothing more to lose here, and George said, can we make it a one-stop? So then we knew. Hamilton's win means that only Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri have scored more points than him in the last 8 races. This is a huge turnaround for Mercedes, considering they hadn't managed a top 3 finish until the Canadian Grand Prix in June. Since then, Mercedes has won 3 of the last 4 races, with a key upgrade in Monaco, helping them find their groove in a big way. So there you have it. Lewis Hamilton's weekend at the Belgian Grand Prix was full of highs and lows, ending with a win that came under, well, pretty exceptional circumstances. As Mercedes gears up for the second half of the season, they'll be looking to build on this momentum and continue their strong performance. Will they be able to do it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest F1 news.